What's up, everyone? This is Medical Device Matt. Really excited about this week's episode. I'm going to talk about 3 different pathways or backgrounds that do extremely well in the field medical device sales roles. If you're not one of these backgrounds, I don't want you to be discouraged. I want you to listen to these backgrounds and why I think they do really well, and see if you could relate and share your own story in that way. So, 3 backgrounds that are doing well in medical device and able to break in. The first is clinical roles. So if you're a nurse, if you're a PA, NP, even a physical therapist, occupational therapist, these backgrounds do extremely well in medical device. They work with patients in their day-to-day job, and coming over to medical device, they know how to work with patients, communicate to physicians, and provide that valuable clinical care. So these roles do extremely well because of that. They know how to operate within hospitals and clinics. They know how to communicate to physicians. They know how to take care of patients. And they understand the clinical background of these disease states. They have the aptitude to quickly learn that. And then some of these backgrounds will need to learn the sales component, but a lot of them already have it. But these people coming from clinical backgrounds do extremely well for the reason I stated. The second group of people I see doing really well in medical device and breaking in are the people that go to these prep schools. So you finish your 4-year degree with maybe a BS or BA, and you're thinking about what to do next. There's these prep schools that will train you and help you network to break into medical device. So for example, the one I'm familiar with is a program geared to teaching you clinical cardiology and clinical electrophysiology. And in these education programs, it could be 3 to 6 months. You're going to learn the clinical background. You're going to have hands-on experience in the field working and shouting with the reps in the, like I said, the field or clinics, but also the cath lab. And the third, these programs do a really good job of preparing you for interviews and networking you, providing resources to make sure your resumes are polished, that your interview skills are top-notch, and connecting you with different managers because of their industry connections that they have developed over time. These schools are fantastic. There's some for cardiology, orthopedics, or general medical device sales, but there's an opportunity cost, which is going to be your time and the tuition. Some of these schools are remote. Some of them you have to go in person, similar to college. And that could be tough if you don't want to spend the money or if you don't want to go away from your current market or home. I think these people do really well breaking into medical device because they get firsthand exposure to the day in the life. They have the clinical background. And these programs, and honestly, do a good job of weeding out people that might not succeed in medical device. It's kind of like a college classroom. You're going to have people that do really well, people that do great, and some people that don't make it to class or flunk out because they're not participating. So I think if you go through one of these programs, you're going to shine to the hiring manager because it shows that you're committed, right? You spent time, you spent money, and these programs are going to prepare you to do well in the interviews. The third group that does extremely well in medical device sales, and again, not everyone, but a lot of people, are people coming with a B2B, business-to-business sales background. So that could be ADP, capital equipment, software as a service. These people have done extremely well in their roles, and it could be 1, 2, or even longer years. But what they have is the sales skills. They know how to work on an internal team and succeed. They carry a quota or a number, meaning every quarter they have to hit a certain revenue. And they know how to call on different types of customers and figure out solutions for them to drive their sales. So like I said, these people do well because when they come to medical device, they have the sales component, the emotional skills to understand customers' needs and how to push and drive product usage. These people might not have the clinical background, but a lot of times they're smart enough to quickly grasp and learn and dedicate themselves for the training to make sure they become a subject matter expert in whatever medical device field they end up in and be a trusted advisor. So we talked about 3 different backgrounds that do well breaking into medical device. Again, this is not to discourage you, but to resonate with these stories of why. And a lot of times it's, do they have the clinical knowledge, the patient bedside doctor interaction, or previous B2B sales where they have had demonstrated success. I see a lot of people breaking into medical device sales with different backgrounds. I see a lot of athletes, right? Gritty athletes that know how to work on a team to hit goals. I see people with no medical knowledge break into medical device sales. So the biggest thing is if you have a strong why and you want to be in medical device sales, a hiring manager is going to see that and help you get into the industry. It might take some time, it might take some interviews, but you will find the right role for you, right? So when you look at these backgrounds and you have one, great. See if you could parlay that valuable information into your interviews and demonstrate that to the manager. If you don't have one of these backgrounds, you're still a great candidate, but learn how to share your story. A lot of people come up to me and, Matt, I don't have sales experience. I don't have this. But for example, I just talked to a research graduate doing research in the neuroscience lab. Yeah, they're not selling, but I'll tell you what they are doing. They're writing research papers to get more funding. So in a sense, they're selling their research, their lab, to people to get funding, right? In my eyes, that sounds a lot like sales, right? I see people on LinkedIn, an accountant trying to grow their business. Yeah, they're not really selling, but in a sense they are, right? They're selling their practice and their skills to you, so you trust them as your accountant, right? So there's a lot of ways to look at your experience, and when you see a medical device job, see how you could sell that experience for the role, be it clinical, the sales, or whatever components you think are important for that role. So this is this week's Medical Device Med episode, 3 common backgrounds I see breaking in. You can get in. Check out, subscribe, future Medical Device Med videos. I'm really excited the direction we're going, and we're building a lot of momentum.